Hi there, welcome to Jujubee DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm bringing you 4 fall DIYs, and I'm also collabing with someone awesome. So stay tuned to find out what I made and who I'm collabing with. Starting with our first DIY, I'm going to take 3 of these pumpkins I purchased from the Dollar Tree. 2 of them are the taller ones and 1 is smaller. I'm going to paint 1 in moss green from Waverly, 1 in Nantucket blue from Folk Art, and 1 from vintage mustard from Folk Art. After I painted them and let them dry, I distressed the edges with a little bit of sandpaper. Next, I'm going to hot glue all 3 of these together to create one piece. I needed to add a little stability to the bottom of these, so I'm using some tumbling tower blocks to do that. Next, I wanted to add some decorative elements to my pumpkins, so I'm taking some of this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just wrap it around the pumpkin stem and hot glue that down. And I'll do that to the green pumpkin as well. Next, I created just a regular shoelace bow with some of this Dollar Tree lace ribbon to add to my blue pumpkin. I wanted to add some more fall elements to these pumpkins, so I thought some of these little sunflowers from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. So I'm just cutting off the back as close as I can to the flower part, and then I'll just hot glue that down to my pumpkins. Oh, I also am adding just 1 leaf of some lamb's ear just for a little more color. And I'll do that. I'll put a sunflower on the green one as well. I won't add any lamb's ear to the green one. And here's a look at how they turned out. I love this piece. I think this might be my favorite of the fall season so far. Today's video is a collaboration with Savannah at Savvy Crafts with Savannah. I love Savannah's crafts. She does an amazing job. She loves to do farmhouse decor on a budget, but she also loves to add those pops of color, which you guys know I love so much. So if you've never been to Savannah's channel, I'll leave her channel in my description box below. Go check her out. Go like her video for today and maybe subscribe if you like what you see. For this DIY, I am using a Dollar Tree pumpkin. I gave it a coat of the Waverly Antique Wax with a baby wipe. Once that was dry, I'm using some of these 3-dimensional circle stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I'll just place those all over my pumpkin. Once I have those attached, I'm going to paint the middle section with the Folk Art Vintage Mustard and the outside edges with the Nantucket Blue. If you're new to my channel, I'm Sarah. I love to do farmhouse and cottagecore DIYs on a budget. I love color, so I use a lot of color in my DIYs. If that sounds great to you and you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell to all so that you're notified every time I upload new content. I also have a brand new Facebook page, which I'll leave in my description box down below. So if you'd like to come over and join my Facebook page, I am doing that in collaboration with my friend Lisa over at our gray house. And we are just having a lot of fun over there, posting inspiration and sharing our projects with each other. So if that sounds good, hit us up over on Facebook. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram at jujubee_DIY. I will post a lot of my pictures so that you can get a better idea as to what my projects look like. And I also you know, post more personal things over there as well. So if you'd like to get to know me a little bit better, head on over to Instagram and check out the Instagram page. So I'm just making a messy bow here for the top of my pumpkin. And I just added a bunch of different ribbons and lace that I've bought from the Dollar Tree. And I'll just tie those together with a little bit of this cotton twine that I also picked up from the Dollar Tree. I think it's usually over in the automotive section actually. And then I'm just going to dovetail the ribbons that aren't the lace ribbon. And then I'll just angle cut the other ribbons. That way it's all nice and finished and looks really pretty. I really do love these messy bows because you really can't go wrong with them. They're really easy to do. Next, I'm going to take some of this wired beaded garland that I picked up last year at the Dollar Tree. And thank you for everyone who gave me suggestions on where to buy more of this since my Dollar Tree doesn't have it year round. I really do appreciate your guys' comments and all of your suggestions. They really do mean the world to me. So I really do appreciate when you guys take the time out of your day to comment on my video. Thank you so much. And I also created this to stand up. So here's how I did that. So here's a look at my pumpkin. I think this turned out really pretty. I love the bow on the top and I just love the colors together. For this DIY, I am taking one of these pallet leaves that came from the Dollar Tree this year. These are really great. I gave it a coat of the Waverly Mineral, the Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral. And I'm just going over the edges with this giant candle. I couldn't find any of my little tea light candles, so this is what I could find, and it's just a regular white wax candle. And if you see that red bit there, that was a red candle that I tried, and I was like, oh, red does not work. So then I painted each of the palette pieces a different color: Nantucket blue, moss green, and vintage mustard. Once it was dry, I am just taking my putty knife. You can use anything like a credit card or gift card or whatever you have that's kind of flat. And I'm just scraping off the paint. Now this is going to, because we added the wax before, the paint that's going to come off is the paint that is attached to the wax basically. So when you scrape, it just gives this really cool weathered effect, which I was really loving on this piece. So I want to take a few seconds to just thank my subscribers and all the people that have supported me on my channel. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you guys so much. I am getting ready to celebrate my 1 year here on YouTube, and I am so excited, and I couldn't be here without you guys. So thank you so much. So I wanted to create a ribbon bow for the top of this, but I didn't want it to be plain burlap. So I am taking a piece of this burlap ribbon, and then I am just hot gluing a piece of the lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree right on the top in the middle there. So I'm just creating a bow here using the method of, you kind of make like a, what do they call it? An awareness ribbon. So you make it look like an awareness ribbon, and then you pinch the middles and tie it off. And that's all there is to that kind of bow, which are the kinds that I like. So then I added a piece of this lace ribbon down the middle of my leaf here before I hot glued my bow on, and now I'm just hot gluing the letters F-A-L-L for fall in the middle there, with some Scrabble tiles that I bought off of Amazon, and then just adding a cute little sunflower there to the middle. I really love how this one turned out. I think it is just adorable. So for our final DIY, I am taking a frame from a canvas that I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I painted that Nantucket blue. That was just left over from a project, but basically all you need to do is take the canvas off and then you've got a great frame. Well, at least hopefully you've got a great frame. The Dollar Tree, you kind of never know, so I always grab a couple just in case when I'm using a project like this. But I'd used the canvas on another project, so I already knew that the frame was great. Next, I'm taking a couple of these pumpkins. These are the DIY ornament pumpkins that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I painted one in the vintage mustard and one in moss green. And then I just painted the stems with a little bit of burnt umber. Next, I'm going to go in with a paintbrush, dry paintbrush, and the Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral. And I'm just going to add in those little pumpkin lines, kind of make it look more like a round pumpkin instead of just a flat ornament. I love to do this with my pumpkins just to add a little more texture, dimension, make it look a little more, I think when you do this kind of thing, it looks a little more high-end. So now I'm going in with a little bit of burnt umber and the Mineral just to add in a little bit of shadow and just more dimension, really. And then I'll do the same thing with the yellow pumpkin. I'm not really sure what happened here. I know that I cut this out in my original editing, but for some reason that didn't save. So I'm really sorry that you have to sit here and watch me paint this yellow pumpkin as well. Yeah, once I get through editing, it's kind of hard to go back and edit when I'm to this point of like a voiceover. So hopefully this doesn't last too long. So I hope you guys are all excited about fall. I am loving all of the comments that I'm getting on my quilted pumpkin from my first fall DIY of the year. You guys really seem to love that. I am going actually to Michael's today to pick up some of their fall paper pads from this year. So I'll probably recreate that pumpkin using paper from Michael's that you can get this year. And I will share those on all of my social media, including here on YouTube. So if you are interested to see that same quilted pumpkin project using the fall paper from this year, be on the lookout for that, and I will share that in a couple of days. Wow, guys, I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so moving on with our project, I'm taking one of these little signs that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I took off all the paper, scraped it all off, and sanded it down so that it's a nice clean surface. And then I'm taking this paper from this paper pad that I purchased in the springtime at Michael's. I think you can still get that one right now at Michael's, and it's called the Avenue. So then I'm going to just add some glue stick. So it's like the end of my glue stick here, so I'm gonna have to go get more of this glue stick, but it was just enough to finish this project off. And then I'm just gonna kind of loosely trim away the paper from this piece. And then once it's dry, I'm gonna go in with my sandpaper and just sand off those edges. That's my most favorite way to clean up edges of anything when I use paper. So I'm just kind of marking off. I'd measured this out so that it was right in the middle. And then I'm just marking it really lightly with a pencil so that when I go to glue it down, I can glue it back in the, pretty relative same place. I'm not super big on being like perfectly center or things like that, but ever so often, especially on a project like this, I want it to be as close to center as possible. And I didn't take out the staples on the back of that frame at all. I just glued it all down. So next we're just gonna glue down our pumpkins. I'm just using hot glue for this. And the hot glue will work wonderfully with the paper. I don't have any coating on it. I didn't seal it or anything. It's just gonna be an indoor decorative piece. So I didn't feel the need to Mod Podge over the top of my paper. And of course, when you glue anything really to paper, it will stick really well. So these pumpkins aren't going to go anywhere. So to cover the holes in our pumpkins, I didn't really want to go the fill-in route. So I'm just going to add some cute little twine bows to those pumpkins to fill in that hole. And then I wanted to decorate the top of this banner piece. And I'm just using some more of this Dollar Tree burlap ribbon. And then I'm going to add some florals to the outside edge. I'm using some of the wheat that I bought from the Dollar Tree this year. I really loved this wheat. I thought it looked super nice this year. Dollar Tree really just keeps stepping up their game with their florals every single year. They just get better and better. So I hope they continue to get better and better as they go on. And then this I think is called fall grass. And it's just little tiny flowers with some greenery. And I'm just cutting that apart. And that was also from the Dollar Tree. So I'll just kind of cut it apart and then hot glue it wherever I feel like it needs to kind of be sticking out or laying. And then to finish it off and cover up the corner there, I'm going to place one of these larger sunflowers from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm just taking my finger, my thumbnail and my first finger, and I'm just pulling those little grass strands through my fingers just to curl them up a little bit. And here's a look at how this turned out. I love this piece. I think it is beautiful. So as usual, let me know in the comments down below which was your favorite. I hope you go check out Savannah's channel. Thank you, Savannah, so much for partnering with me today. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a happy, healthy, and blessed day. And I will talk to you on the next video. Bye.